Hello Car-Revz-Daily fans, this is Detroit Bureau Chief Carl Malik here, and we're shooting this video at our photo shoot location at Oakland University, and we're spending some quality time today with the 2020 Toyota Yaris XLE. For those that need a brief recap into the trim order for this model, XLE is the range-topping trim for Yaris, and as such, this trim brings a number of minor luxury amenities and some refinement to the Yaris. 2020 was a big year of updates for Yaris, and while the sedan showcases the more subtle side of things, a big one is that for 2020 you do get the option of a hatchback. You heard that correctly, a hatchback in the US. Back before Toyota made this move, the Yaris hatchback as well as the sedan were two very different vehicles. Now, the old adage of if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it must be a duck is very evident here, because underneath the Toyota badging as well as some of the Toyota exclusives is a European spec Mazda 2 sedan. You can definitely see it here in the taillight design as well as the basic profile, which has a very distinct Mazda whiff to it. As we go into the inside, you can see that Mazda DNA is evident here in the interior too. Mazda has been on a roll when it comes to improving interior quality, and even here in this reskinned Mazda 2, you can see that interior quality is a big paramount deal for Mazda. You can see that the Yaris gets the same soft leather padded stitching here on the dash, the same basic vent design, as well as the simplistic controls like here in the climate controls that have defined many Mazda models for a number of years. And it's good to see that here in this reskinned Toyota that this simplicity is not lost. We also like the way that this plastic piece, you can see it on the door panels too, the way this plastic piece looks like fake carbon fiber. Really nice touch. Mazda is no stranger to letting other automakers rebadge its vehicles, and the firm also has a deal with FCA where that company makes a rebadge example of its MX-5 Roadster. Of course, FCA calls it the Fiat 124 Spider, and while that model too has a lot of Mazda heritage baked into it, Fiat designers were certainly allowed to make more design differences, including minor trim alterations as well as the engine. On the subject of engine, the Yaris does come with arguably the biggest detriment that also defines the Mazda 2, and that is the engine. A 6-speed manual is standard, but our tester has a 6-speed automatic. And as you can see, all Yaris models make do with a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder. This particular 4-cylinder makes 106 horsepower, and while the 4-cylinder makes a good name for itself out and about in town, on the freeway, the power situation is clearly an issue. As we close the hood here, go back inside our tester, we're going to start it up here, and you can see that the Yaris does come with arguably our biggest annoyance with the Yaris, as well as Mazda's with push-button start. It has push-button start. You can see it peeking out from right here, but as you can see, it's blocked by the windshield washer control stalk, meaning instead of having a clear approach to the button, you have to snake your finger underneath in order to start the car, which is what we're going to do now. As you can see, the screen is very well detailed, and here we are in the navigation. And this vehicle can be equipped with navigation, but the only catch is that if you're interested, you have to get a special SD card that you put into the system, and only then will you be able to access the full system. We encountered this with the last Yaris we had, and we're told that this is also the case with its Mazda counterparts that have this same system. You have to get an SD card in order for this to work. Otherwise, you get a message like we have here. In the area where that SD card is, it certainly doesn't skimp on trying its best to keep up with the modern age. In addition to the SD slot here, you also see 2 USB ports for charging phones, an auxiliary import jack, as well as a 12-volt outlet for cigarette lighter style phone chargers. The system itself is controlled by this control wheel. The control wheel is very reminiscent of many BMW offerings, and in addition to using the wheel to get around the various menus, hitting the satellite buttons allows you to get to various areas faster. Like for example, we'll hit the music note button here, and it'll get you into the audio menu. Hit home button again, and it'll take you back to the main home menu. Very intuitive setup, and you can even control the volume with this smaller knob here. As you can see, the Yaris does have 2 cup holders as well as a nice storage area. No center console here on Yaris, but you can imagine that storage is still pretty good. Glove box here is very big. You get door storage cubbies here for smaller items. And the best part about all this, as we look at the door panels here with their leatherette style adornments, is that pricing here on Yaris is actually very value centric. Yaris does start at less than $20,000. It does slot below the Corolla, and our tester here in XLE trim is still under the $20,000 barrier. Base prices start at $18,000, and our tester, based on some of our initial monkeying around with the configurator, is still underneath that $20,000 barrier. Hatchback models do come with more niceties, and that causes the price to go up to about $20,000, if not a little over $20,000. Well guys, this is it for our brief video of the Toyota Yaris. We hope you enjoyed it. We will be shooting some other videos highlighting some of the Yaris's finer attributes over the next few days. And please stay tuned to the website. We are posting new content and coverage virtually every day. And please feel free to comment on our YouTube channel. We like hearing feedback from you guys. It helps us make good product, and in turn, it helps make the channel a better place. Thank you guys so much, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts. Have a great day.